We live.
Oh yeah,
We
I
live.
just got a notification.
So we live.
We're here.
We live. Yo, thank y'all for tuning in again another Sunday. Another Sunday, beautiful faces. Oh, somebody's phone is not on mute.
I wanted to
But yeah,
also
thank
check.
y'all for tuning in again, man. For real. Yeah, okay, we live. New faces. As always, you know, Peter, and you go ahead and introduce yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I'm Jen. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, my name is Ike.
My name is Chica.
I'm John.
Princess.
Princess.
Like, looking like that.
Prince.
But yo, hey, another Sunday, beautiful topics. As always, real people, real conversations. Yeah. Are y'all ready? Yeah, y'all ready to have good conversations?
Good.
Yeah, Princess, come on, man, you ready?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
No BS talk, though.
No
BS time.
I mean, look, again, this is the thing. This is your opinions is your opinions.
For sure.
Nobody's telling you what to say. Come out here, be yourself. If you want to put somebody in blast, go for it.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna try
Yeah.
that too.
Your opinions is your opinions, man. We just have a conversation.
Remember, opinions can be wrong.
No, that's facts. Opinions can be wrong. But all we're asking is just, you know, you want to be heard, so also be willing to hear somebody. You know, just have a conversation. Just have a dialogue, right?
Yeah, I wanna hear it,
let's
yeah.
talk. Yeah, exactly. So if you're watching and you are on YouTube, on the YouTube app, you know, just go ahead and share the link with your friends, people who you know who want to have a great conversation just like we're about to. Go ahead and share that link with them so they can tune in and, you know, join the conversations. If you're watching and you're not on the app and you want to be able to chat and interact with us, go ahead and jump on the app. Or you can go to youtube.com and just search for CTalkTV and just go ahead and join the live. And you'll see the chat box somewhere on the right or left. So you'll see the chat box. Jump in there and just chat with us. Yeah, she's doing just that. Go ahead and jump in, chat with us, and we'll have great conversations. If you're watching, let us know if you can hear us properly. I should have done this first. Can you hear us properly? If you can hear us properly, give us thumbs ups in the chat. If there's anything that you can't hear properly, if something's off, go ahead and let us know in the chat, and we'll go ahead and fix that. But if you can hear us properly, give us a thumbs up so we know we're okay, we're good, and ready to go. Like I said, I know there's a couple of people who probably watch and are not on the chat. If you want to jump on the chat and be able to like interact with us, go ahead and go to the YouTube app, and you know you'll be able to chat. But other than that, we are ready to go ahead and get started. Like I said, good conversations. Yeah. Also, I was gonna say, if you want to shoot the link to people, go ahead and shoot the people before we go ahead and start jump into it. But we have a lot of topics today, good topics. First one that we're going to talk about is actually you good? It's actually this a video. So we're going to play a video for you guys to listen to. It's like a 52 seconds video ish. It deals with chivalry, right? People say, you know, chivalry is dead, yada yada yada.
Yeah, why you so
Everybody saw the video. Did you see it? Yeah, so everybody's seen the video, so we all know what's on that video. So we're gonna play that video for you guys, so you guys can actually see the video too. While you're watching the video, if anything is off, let us know. We'll fix it because we want to make sure that you watch the video. So, you know, we'll go ahead and play that video real quick. You said hold on? Okay, he said you might not have the camera. Said hold on. He said hold on. So while y'all are watching,
I think D says that the audio is good.
the audio is good. Bad.
Go.
You good? All right, we're gonna go ahead and play that video now. While you're watching the video, let us know if anything is off, so that way we can fix it. But we are positive everything is right.
I am not opening it. You're getting 4 letters, H-E-R-E. That means I'm here. That means come outside. And that means when we go, like, whatever our plans are, we're gonna go do what our plans were set to do. I'm not getting out of the car to open your door or to meet you at the door or to ring your doorbell when you could just walk downstairs. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I personally believe, and this is just my personal perception of me and my friends and all the females that we have dealt with collectively, chivalry is almost dead.
It's not smooth.
It's on the it's on its last leg. So maybe I might hold the door open for you, yeah. But I'm not getting out of my car to ring your doorbell to tell you to come downstairs to get back in the car. That actually doesn't even make sense.
Oh, my bird. Okay, so that was a video. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. I guess the first question is, Princess, why you smile? I know you.
She's ready to go
She got
off.
ideas. She got
The
ideas.
first question is, and again, like I said, this I'm not here to. You can ask me questions. You can talk back at me. I'm just trying to lead so we don't waste time on one question. So
Sure.
the first question I'm throwing to everybody, which is to myself too, is chivalry really dead?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
No.
It's starting to die, unfortunately,
I'll
because
say
of
it's
dudes
dying.
like that
Yeah.
with dangly earrings.
You said it's dead already.
It's dying because of guys like that with dangly earrings.
Oh my God, that was
I'm sorry. Serious.
Chivalry is a choice, and it was always a choice. And so, if you set expectations that you want your partner to do that for you, that your partner can say yes or they can say no. I think it's probably unrealistic to set those expectations and expect somebody to meet you where you are. But if you want to, you want to. Like, I don't really see what the big deal is somebody going to your door or trying to be nice to you. You get brownie points for being nice. Chivalry was always just a way to be nice to people. So is being nice dead? No. But it's not an expectation that a lot of people hold anymore. And if you do, then I think that that's fine, but you should just communicate that.
Right.
And if somebody can't meet that expectation, then you guys can go your separate ways, and that's fine as well. But you don't have to, I don't know, that narrative that he had, that it was so arrogant. It was so arrogant. It's like, oh, why should I have to do X, Y, and Z? It's like,
Yeah.
you don't, and you shouldn't have to. But it's just a way of being nice. And if somebody wants you to be nice to them, why are you giving an attitude?
Cool. Yeah, I say chivalry is dying. The reason why I would say is because of lack of positive influences on our culture. Speaking as a man, first generation Nigerian American, I think we have a lack of positive influences for us to be the positive role models that we have to be. So in order for us to change the narrative, we have to make sure we're connecting with one another, make sure we're holding our brothers accountable so we can bring it back. So it may be dying, but also there's hope. We have to be the hope to bring it back.
I don't think we need to bring it back.
What?
Okay, that's interesting.
My thing is,
You need to bring it back.
we don't. If it's dying, then let it die. It's fine. But like, if you want that for yourself,
Right.
then just say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Say that. And if you want to do that for somebody, then do that for someone. And if they don't want that, then they'll tell you. Like, it doesn't have to be this set narrative where we have to do it. You get to choose whether you want someone to be chivalrous to you or not, or if you want to do that to someone. Like, we shouldn't hold ourselves to that expectation if that's not how we see our lives.
When we say chivalry is dead, are we saying that prior to in the past, like everybody was chivalrous?
It was a cultural
Yeah, that
norm.
was
Right.
Yeah, it was a cultural
Right.
norm.
Was it really?
So
But let's not forget though. Well, I guess this is my thinking.
right.
Prior to everybody was chivalrous. Not in today's
a cultural
society.
norm where?
Again, we'll get to this because in today's society, it's a man. The man has to be chivalrous to the woman.
Right.
So when you're saying
Okay.
back in the day, are we saying that it was both ways? Are we saying that it was always the man being chivalrous?
I think it was always the man
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
chivalrous to
Right.
the women. But
Yeah.
now it's not really a have to, like Chika said, it's a want to. And the video, the way he said it, he was just so rude. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with
So-
being nice.
so I have a
yeah,
question.
just
So-
come to the door.
Yeah.
For me, logistically, it doesn't really make sense for you to come and knock on my door and then walk
Yeah,
me out,
yeah.
whatever. But if
You're
you're
not
trying
doing
to
it
be
because it makes
nice,
sense.
then be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Okay. So I wanted to first of all define what chivalry is. Hopefully we can all get on the
Yeah,
same
let's get on
page.
that.
I mean,
Right.
so actually let me ask you, what is chivalry to you?
Let's Google real quick.
Yeah, chivalry. In my mind,
Right.
chivalry is just doing generous acts out of the kindness of your heart, opening the door, saying bless you. Like, there's a lot of different types of chivalry,
Right.
and there was a cultural expectation that men are probably a little bit more nice and go out of their way for women.
Well, they should be.
Or they should be, right? They should be, because it's about politeness and it's about taking care of women or whatever as a man. I think that's expectation, the cultural norm that people set.
Right.
Okay. So based off of that, if it's being nice, doing the right things, whatever, if we let that die, then what's going to promulgate? What's going to go after that? Are we saying that all men should just be able to be mean and be rude and be buttholes or whatever it is?
I mean,
Is that what we
Chivalry
want?
doesn't mean if without chivalry, it doesn't mean you should be mean.
yeah, the
You
opposite
just-
of chivalry isn't
Being
abuse
nasty.
or being
Yeah.
being
What was the
rude.
definition?
The opposite.
Jay?
Good, yeah.
The medieval knightly system with its religious morals and social code. Under that, it says the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak.
So does it say anything about male
Man,
or
I don't
female?
like that.
So hold on. Does it say anything about male or female?
It said knight, a knight is a man,
Knight.
a knight is a man.
Or
So I
said
think that
medieval.
when we hear
Said
chivalry,
knight.
no one's gonna think nice acts, right? They're gonna associate that with a man all
Yeah.
the time.
Right.
You're not gonna associate that with a woman. So
Right.
I think I totally agree with what she's saying, that like it's an expectation up front. If that's what you want, if that's what your choice is, then hey, if I know as a woman that I expect you to open my door and I'm not seeing you move like that, then I'm not gonna entertain you. The guy with the dangly earring, I wouldn't talk to a guy with the dangly earring anyways, but because I'm gonna expect that he's gonna act like a woman. So to me, I think he's gonna act a little feminine. So maybe I need to open your door. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that when you're dating a woman, though, you should.
Who we talking?
Treat me how you want to treat. You want somebody to treat your mom or your grandmother,
Right.
which is opening my door. But I also agree with it shouldn't be something that's just like not logistic. Like I don't expect you to like
Right.
get out of your car, come over to my door, knock on it. Like it shouldn't be
too much.
this hassle.
Yeah.
Like he
But-
should text you, "I'm here," and then you should just run to the car.
What he said was just so.
The way he said it was like
H-E-R-E.
Well,
I'm here.
So
I'm giving
there's-
4
there's-
words.
I don't want to say I agree with him, but put it if I want. Look, I've seen situations. I've been in situations in the past. No, of course she's listening, but I've been in the situations in the past where there's women who would be like this at their door.
It's too hot outside for that.
You know, I'm like this. I'm in the car, and you're not going to get in the car until I come out and come around and open your door.
I mean, she's setting a standard for herself.
But that's
Exactly.
a
No,
That's her
but no.
standard.
not necessarily.
Okay.
But the way you communicate that standard, you could do it in a better way.
Yeah.
If
That's
you want to
true.
communicate,
That's
hey, babe, I grew up a certain way. My father treated me this way. My uncles and my brothers and everybody around me treated this way. So I feel special and I feel seen and I feel like the reason for chivalry is to make someone feel special,
Right.
feel taken care of. I feel
Right.
taken care of when you open the door for me.
And with that, so I get that. Let's just imagine, yes, she grew up that way. I get that. But here's the thing. This is why the question comes in, is chivalry dying? Because when we associate chivalry with this one act, I feel like it takes away from the whole thing
Right.
that chivalry
That's why I
chivalry
said
really is.
Not
Okay.
dead,
Because
because
here's
we
the
all
thing.
do chivalrous things
Here's the
anyway.
thing. I'm the type of guy, yes, I'm married. I don't necessarily open the door for the car every single time. If I happen to be at the door on the passenger side and she said, I'll open it. But it's another thing. We
Right.
don't do that stuff.
Right.
But every other thing I do. If we walk in here, I'll open the door. I'll wait for her to get it before me. If we're going out, I push the door open, she goes out before me. Well, those type of things, just small little things here and
You
there.
do the sidewalk thing if you're walking.
You put it on the
Yes,
other
if
side.
you walk on the sidewalk, I always make a conscious
Exactly.
effort to move her to the side.
That's what I think of with chivalry.
You know
That's
what
my
I'm saying? So,
definition.
but when it comes to this opening the car door thing, and I see women who do this stuff, it just pisses me off. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't
think it's stupid because again, okay, you're right. It is a bit ridiculous to pout. It's a bit childish to sit there and pout when somebody doesn't open your door, especially since we've evolved to kind of
Yeah.
go past those things. However, society set the standard. Society set the standard, and a lot of times the way that men show that they love you because they're not allowed to express, their feelings is by doing things for you. And so if I associate the act of you opening the door for me means that you care about me and that you like me, then you not opening the door for me means you don't like me. You're communicating to me that you don't respect me. Because remember, I'm weak, and so the only way I need a strong man to be around me and show me that he loves me,
Wait,
he's
are you
prepared to
weak?
take care of me. No, I'm just being
Oh.
facetious. But, I'm just being facetious. But I mean, that was what that came from, right?
Yeah.
And so people have set this standard that the way you know that a man loves you and respects you is that he opens the door for you. So by you not opening the door for me, it means not for me, but like for me,
Yeah.
it means that you don't respect me.
Could it
That you're not treating me like someone
Could it
that you
be that
respect.
chivalry actually is not dead, but the language is changing because
Yes.
the times
Yeah.
have
I
changed?
said we
Yes.
evolved.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. So I mean, to that point, like definitely we're not in those age like nights. We're all pretty much like white European. None of us are like that. So of course we come from a whole different culture. So we're gonna have our own cultural norms.
But our culture was adopted. Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, just saying that. Yeah. So I mean, there's some good aspects we can take from it, but also there's some aspects like that just don't apply because we're from a different culture. We all came from different places in Africa, or we're derived from there. So we're gonna make sure we carry some of those things.
Yeah.
And whatever we can glean from it, yes, but also from whenever we don't, we just let it be.
So
But I
back to
would
that
say,
being that the
but we were colonized by the people who did do that. So that chivalry has now been passed down to a lot of different African cultures as well.
Sure.
And so we may like it might be a little bit different in Nigeria how you be chivalrous, but that attitude of taking care of women and showing your affection for women is like by paying. And by
Actually,
by
that is
paying for
the
things,
entire
and by when your
situation.
girlfriends are out and she brings her homegirls, you pay. Like
Pay
that's
for
an
everything.
act of chivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying
I'm saying
I'm not saying
that
that's what everybody does right now, but chivalry is still alive in a lot of different African cultures because that night culture, that English culture was it's predominant in even Africa, so it is everywhere.
And I think chivalry is still alive here, especially in Houston, because if you go to the club, go to somebody's, what do you call it? Yeah, day party section, you see plenty of guys inviting females out to their section, buying bottles.
That's not it.
What's the
No,
purpose?
seriously.
That's not it. That's just to walk a little hot.
The language
the
is
hot
different.
girls
So it's
at
no
the
longer,
section.
listen, it's no longer, okay, let me open the door to your car, because it's like, it's played out now. It's, let me invite you to my section. Let me pamper you. Let me take you out on trips. A lot of this is still going on, so.
I'm thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm off of that. I think that to just end this whole conversation about even chivalry and the 50-50 conversation, the guys who want you to be their roommate, the truth is like traditional men and traditional women should date one another. If you're a traditional woman and you're dating a modern man like the dude with the dangly earring, do you really think that this dude is gonna pay for your rent?
He's not
Like, so it's just like you should match those things and we would dead all these conversations. If you're a modern couple, you're gonna be okay with splitting the rent. You're gonna be okay with the guy not opening your door, not paying for your food. I'm not okay with that. I like traditional men, so I look for a traditional man, and I know how to be a traditional woman as well. So I just think that we have to like make those matches and stop mixing it, and that creates a lot of the problems.
I don't think he's modern. I think that he's just misogynistic.
Yeah.
And his aggression towards women is coming out in different ways. Why should I have to open the door for you?
Yeah.
Why
For
should
him,
I
it's
have to do it?
not saying what he said was good or acceptable, but I would say this: his story's probably different. Like when he gets to a point where he has, let's say he has a child and it's a daughter, I'm sure his ways of thinking are going to change a little bit. No, seriously, for real. Because I could tell he's somebody that's probably single. He probably does not have a child. He's living his life. He's young. He's like.
My question is, why do you need to have a child to be able to empathize with them?
Because you have a mom.
You have a mom.
A grandmother,
You have
sisters.
If women are equal to you
But
and you see them as a person,
everybody's not the same. Everybody's family dynamics is not the same. The things that the way they grew up, the impacts in their lives are totally different. So they may not be able to make that correlation. Like, okay, this is how I should be.
Yeah, to add to that as well, I think certain experiences changes your reality. So having a kid and having to care from somebody who actually depends on your livelihood is going to change what you care about. But yeah, I do believe we should care about a woman, but sometimes we don't have those experiences.
Listen, let's go around the room real quick. So you want a man to open your door with your car door?
It doesn't have to be this forced thing. Like you said, if you're on the side of my door and I'm gonna look for you to open it. Like if I'm walking into an establishment, I'll expect that you open the door for me, and I expect that you hold it open for women coming behind me. That's what I like to see in a man. If I see a consistent thing of you not doing things like that, I'm gonna say to myself, "Oh, I'm dating a woman." That's in my head. So I'm not going to like that. That's just what I prefer. So.
And so, final point, I guess. So, I've also noticed, in my own relationship, sometimes she opens the door for me. So is it?
Things are changing.
Yeah.
Things,
For me,
Reciprocal.
reciprocal, yeah.
that's a
It
process.
just
So
depends on the way
can
that
we
you
agree that chivalry should be both ways and not just one?
I think
side?
it's like if we're looking at it nice, actually gonna do nice things for someone. Like I'm not gonna let a door slam in a guy's face, but you do expect a man to do masculine things sometimes, is what I'm saying. And if it's like a repetition of him doing things that to me is not like a gentleman, then I'm gonna not be attracted to him.
I just like nice people. So
Yeah.
if you treat me nicely, I like that. And I'll treat you nice as well.
Simple. Simple.
Martha is coming real quick. So Chris is saying that.
She's not opening no man's door.
Right.
Wow.
That's what Chris said? Oh, wow.
Even though I think that guys should like one of the things I see a lot of times with women, and I have these discussions with my friends, is that they just think that like even with dating it's kind of one-sided. So like they don't feel like they need to give the guy a gift or take him out to eat. If I'm in a relationship and I'm recording one another, then eventually I'm gonna pay for your food. I'm going to buy you a gift. I'm gonna say if I'm in a relationship, hey, why don't I take you on a trip? And so those are things I'm willing to do as a woman, but I do want my courting relationships to lead with the man.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially because they don't express how they feel.
Exactly.
And so you look for signs that they like you.
Exactly.
And one of the
Through
ways
their
that they like
actions.
you is through their actions of maybe paying for your meal,
Exactly.
opening your door, you know, being nice to you, checking in with you, those kinds of things. That's the way that we see, that's the way we experience male
Okay,
love.
well, learn
And so
it.
when you don't
Please
do
learn.
that, when you don't do that, it's just like, okay, you don't really give a shit.
exactly.
So that's why a lot of times women want you to open the door for them, is because that's the
Some
way you
women
show
don't
affection.
deserve to be shivered.
Good point.
I just want to throw that in there.
Then why you put
No, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying in general. There's
Well,
some women
yeah.
that don't like. For instance, I may be randomly walking into some establishment. I open up the door and she just walks in like
Well, thank you.
no acknowledgement, no
Yeah.
thank you,
That's
no
true.
facial, no smile.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought that's, yeah.
Guys, it's
So-
not by force.
so-
If you open
No,
the
no,
door,
no, no.
No,
She said
so-
it's not by force, but
Right.
at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
doing those things. So
So
Just
that
a
you
little
can get the
acknowledgement.
reward.
not to get the reward. However, I don't deserve the rudeness.
but do you know something?
I mean, but
if I'm a mile away, don't wait for me. And you're not
No, it's
expecting
not
me to do the
that.
fast
I'm not
walk.
talking about that.
Yeah.
I would
No.
never do it. If I see, if by my judgment you're far away, I'm sorry. I'll close the door. If you say something, I was like, you're far away, because a woman would do that. Couldn't you wait? No, you're far away.
I don't expect that. Just
But here's the
right
thing.
ways.
But what he's saying is this: if I open the door for you, I expect a little
Right.
thank you.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
You have to be
Because
I don't know
you
if I expect it, but it would be nice. I don't expect anything.
No, I expect a thank you. I expect an acknowledgement.
Acknowledging
Yeah.
it. Right.
Even if you just nod your head, I'm fine. Don't just walk in like I'm your servant or something.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay.
It's nice, but I have no expectations.
Yeah.
Like you.
So
you-
somebody opens the
So
door
somebody
for
could
you,
go for
say
you, you
something.
wouldn't say thank
You
you.
wouldn't say
No, I would say thank you,
That's
but
what
if
I
they
mean.
didn't say thank you, I would be like, oh, well, and then I would
Oh,
move
no,
on.
of course. I'm not gonna say, hey, no.
Yeah.
I'm-
But I mean, you have to be honest. Like again, not everybody is chivalrous, and like that's just something people do. Like sometimes people don't say thank you, and I just move on. Like, it's
Sometimes
okay.
people are.
Yeah.
People
Sometimes
are
people are, and
they're
some
no
people are.
wild-
Sometimes people have
yeah,
a
for
Bluetooth
sure.
in their ear, and they're on the phone. They had a bad
Yeah,
day,
that's
whatever.
excuses.
I
They
mean,
can't see me.
that
They
day.
can't see me over the window.
You know,
They can't see me. I just wave or something. Hey, thank you.
sometimes you should just be like, a lot of times I'm just chivalrous because it's more about me and how I want to move through the world. I want to move through the world with kindness. I don't
No, you're right.
necessarily need to
Right.
be acknowledged for
Trust
that.
me, Chica, if you don't get that kindness back, you flip it. So let's not.
I mean,
let's not play.
you can-
I-
you can- you can
not
let it go.
not always. Like,
But
I don't
think-
always
yeah,
expect
but I-
to be. People will let you down if you let them.
Expect to.
But
Yeah,
I
people will
think-
let you down
yeah.
if you let them.
You're
So
right.
I don't
We're
have
still
high
human.
expectations
We're
for
still
people.
humans and we got
Right.
human emotions,
Yeah.
so you're still gonna feel that.
You're gonna
Okay,
feel
that was
it,
kind of
for sure.
rude. Like,
I just have a different
Yeah.
scheme.
Somebody
I think it's all about, like, at the end of the day, you have to
I'm a
hold
different mindset.
yourself.
People let you
You have to
down.
hold yourself to a certain code of conduct, and if you do it for yourself, you're gonna feel that. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna feel the repercussions if somebody doesn't acknowledge you doing it. But you still do it anyway
Yeah,
because
I
of who
noticed it.
you are.
I'm like, that's helpful. But I would still keep
I
going.
would think that. You would think that, but I mean, it's about what you want to do.
All right, cool. Let's jump into the next conversation. Good conversations, though. Appreciate y'all for that. Next one. So this one, I'm gonna just read it out. When a pretty woman looks in the mirror, you go ahead, Richard. When a pretty woman looks in the mirror, she doesn't see what we see.
chivalry. Chivalry.
You got it.
Make sure you say thank you.
Oh, of course. I was raised right, man. I was raised right.
Anybody see anything?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this. So when when a pretty woman looks in the mirror, she doesn't see what we see. She sees everything that she is not. Society tells us the prettier you are, the prettier you still could be. So the question here is it a known fact that the most beautiful looking women are the ones that are the most insecure about their looks?
That's a good question.
For me, I want to take what I think that topic is talking about. I don't think it's a fact per se, but it's more of what society has led them to believe. Like in their minds, okay, like a model, you're beautiful, that is your currency. If you gain half a pound, have a little flab here, have a little gut there, everything is screwed up. So it's like they're the most insecure, especially when it's their currency. So
Wait, say it
I
again?
think
I'm sorry. I told
What
you.
you say, yeah.
What?
What'd you say?
So pretty much, so what you're saying, when you're valued, like when you're valued in the world, if everybody's telling you all the time that you're beautiful and you're like a model or something, and you're literally like making money, that's your currency, that's your life. Like your self-worth and your self-esteem is tied into the fact that you're beautiful, then that's your value. And so anything that you see, like if you gain a little weight, you chip your tooth, you know, you're not looking fresh, you have bags under your eyes. Well, the reason why I'm special, the reason why I'm valuable is the fact that I look good. The fact that I can see bags under my eyes and I'm getting a little cellulite, that means I'm not as beautiful as I was before. People are not going to like me as much anymore. My currency, my value in my self-worth is plummeting because I see all these imperfections. I think like
That's very unfortunate.
yeah, I mean, but that's how we all are.
Especially
But
if
that makes them insecure, right? That makes them
That makes them insecure, and even
So they're not less pretty, but they just.
but they perceive
Yeah.
that it's like body dysmorphia. It's like
Yeah.
you can only see your flaws because that's what you feel like you're worth. You're worth what you look like.
And especially if, like you said, that's your actual profession, that's your currency. It's not like your regular person that's beautiful, like us here. But
Thank you. Yes.
I'm next to him, and but okay. But yeah, like these people, they're walking their runway. If you have a scratch on your leg, you're finished. There goes your career.
In your mind,
Exactly.
In your mind. Yeah, and I don't even think it's just pretty people. I think like a lot of times women in general. A lot of times the compliments that you get is how beautiful you are. But there's so many other examples of people who look different than you that are beautiful too. So you gain a little weight, or you have a scar on your face, or something's wrong, your nose is crooked, like in your mind, because you're seeing so many examples of perfection, you now look at yourself and you feel less than. And like even if people are telling you you're pretty, you're more likely to listen to the negative self-talk. And so you don't feel as pretty, you feel more insecure. And then people are telling you that you're beautiful all the time. And so again, you're going to you're going to value that. And because people are telling you you're beautiful all the time, then you're looking for something to disprove that every time you look in the mirror. And when you find that, it's
I'm very
scary.
disturbed by this standard of perfection that society goes by, because nobody's perfect. Like we know there's a lot of editing going on with these photos. We know that it's perfect lighting. We know it's perfect makeup that's been put on these people. So nobody is perfect.
Right.
And it's just people are putting themselves on this false pedestal of I gotta be like this, but it's not really real.
Yeah, it's not realistic,
It's
but
very, very
it's hard. It's hard to detach yourself from that.
Yeah, with social media for sure. Like I don't wear makeup, and I recently thought just from watching social media, like I need to learn how to wear makeup. Like I have no interest in it, but I feel weird that I'm like the only woman in my group of friends, or when I look on social media, that doesn't wear makeup. And I'll even think that I'm fat. I just went to the doctor the other day, I'm fat.
I think I'm fat too. We all think we're fat.
Like it will make you think that. Like, but I do agree that when it's your currency, you take it so much more personal. Like I have, people in my life that are influencers, and they're literally like goals, and they will literally sit up there and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so ugly," or "I can't compete with this next better looking woman." Well, there's always gonna be a better, woman. They're born every day, so like you can't let that control you. But I think that we all have insecurities, and you just have to set an expectation of what you want to look like and what you feel at your best, and then roll with that.
Yeah, and then kind of sometimes you have to curate your life so that you don't let those negative experiences penetrate you. Maybe you shouldn't be following supermodels if you have some insecurities about. Maybe you shouldn't be following really, really skinny people. Maybe you should mute a few of your friends if you're always seeing them with their makeup. Like I know as soon as I moved to Houston, I really didn't wear that much makeup. But every time I stepped into a space, I'm like,
They
There's
all
a
got
lot of
makeup
bad
on.
pictures in there. Like everybody looks like so good. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, damn, maybe I should like figure out how to like. And then eventually I started like.
I need the right video, girl. I tried.
I
I think my listen worse.
Years. But and then like once you get good at it and like it becomes fun because makeup is like art.
Yeah.
And like now, every time I was just gonna put on foundation today and then it
when I put on makeup, I look casket ready. Like I'm dead. I really think this is not work.
So check this out. Look at this. Look at this guy. You have something to say?
I want to give just in general, even on the male perspective as well. Society is always pushing forward a narrative that we have to have a certain amount of cars, money, whatever, for guys to sleep with a certain amount of women in order to earn your value. But I think that in order to have a true sense of who you are, you have to know what your value is. Regardless of the externalities, regardless of if you look pretty on the outside, regardless of how many people you slept with.
So how do we do that though?
I think it's going to be do it through your vibe, through your tribe actually, the people you surround yourself with. I think you guys talked about that as well. So I want to surround myself with people that are trying to give me positive feedback, constructive if it needs to be, but trying to build me up instead of tearing me down. And if you try to find that in social media, you're not going to find it because it's an endless hole.
Yeah.
Things you have to use to try to validate yourself, and you can't really fill that hole.
Yeah.
So.
You know what you should be looking for on social media? Puppies. Puppies and babies.
I love puppies.
I would change my entire feed right now.
The one thing about social media, and I'm not sure if I'm saying the right chemical, but it's a dopamine
effect.
Dopamine
Yeah.
effect.
Yes, sir.
So what if we switch that dopamine effect instead of the likes? What if like we celebrated more the intrinsic things, and we get that dopamine hit from that? Would that change?
I believe
I mean,
so.
but you can't really see the intrinsic things. You have to.
Well, you
feel
can,
it.
celebrate
Right.
goodness,
Yeah.
like when somebody
Yeah,
does a good
yeah.
act. But the thing is, like, because like the way that human beings are, a lot of times will always navigate back to the external things because they're more interesting. Sometimes the way that our mind works, a lot of times, like beauty and drama and something that's exciting, something that's funny, things that overstimulate you are more interesting than things that just pull at your heartstrings. And so people really, really do celebrate like big acts of kindness, but a lot of people are looking more for the drama, the negative.
I mean, we know that. But at the same time, we see, like, we look on social media as well, and I'm seeing more videos of people being celebrated for helping a homeless person or saving that. I know, but
it's almost a wrong motive.
But if you think about it, wouldn't you rather see that than everything else that we're complaining
No,
about?
that's true, but
For the right reasons.
my mom raised me that that's tasteless. Like you don't put your, even reading the Bible, like it's tasteless to do. Also, on another note, it's just I wouldn't, if I was at my worst, I would not want to be on camera with that. So I understand what they're doing, trying to show you like we can all be giving, but
the good thing about that is when people see that, because they're so, like a lot of times people do good things for selfish reasons and just for self-image, but the thing is it's still benefiting somebody.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's good to see these things, like regardless, it's kind of like because every time I see it, like someone in full-fledged makeup doing a photo shoot next to homeless people, like I'm giving you food and my lashes and like, oh my God, like,
But it's gonna make somebody else
but it's going to make somebody, because it's such a
Most of
good
the videos that I see is not full-fledged makeup. It's like people in their regular attire.
Yeah.
It's really just
I-
helping somebody.
Yeah.
Or if there's this guy in New York that goes around and gives haircuts to homeless people.
Yes.
Like, because
Yes.
my thing with that is, like, I understand the power of marketing. The more you see things, the more it becomes a norm, and it becomes a big influence in your life. So let's just flip that and make it that aspect, that positive aspect, and make it a good thing. Like, because I understand, we're told, you're supposed to do good deeds in the dark so you don't get, but F all that. We are living a reality where everything's so different, and people are very, very materialistic, and they're people pushing for the wrong things, and I feel like it's really, really good to see those other kind of aspects of, it's being pushed more and more.
Right.
You just want to do more
and I
harm
think,
than good.
and just to touch on your point, I think at the end we have to be the change that we want to see, but for the right reasons. Even if we were to put all those videos about the homeless people and saving people on, people will also use that narrative to promote themselves. So you have to make sure you're being the change you want to see, and make sure it starts with your intentions first, and you set the example for other people to follow. Hopefully you're doing it for the right reasons. But I know that, I mean, whatever you're doing good,
Even if
it can always be, you know, misinterpreted or done in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Hey, look at politics. Politics, it seems like,
Oh, for sure, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's the good and bad. You know, people are always going to say, oh, they're doing this for the wrong intentions. But at the end of the day, there's still people that are being impacted in a positive way by the things they're doing in politics. So we're always going to be able to point, oh, there's something wrong with this, something wrong with that. However, if we can just stick to the action, okay, that's a good act. You know, regardless of what the person's intention is, that is a good act right there.
Right.
I think the intention
So
matters.
I guess I'm trying to understand. So we're saying social media is the root cause of most insecurities of people.
It's actually
Not
not
necessarily, but
I don't think there's the root cause. I think it exacerbates.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
People
like
have always
social
been
media is like watching
insecure.
TV now.
I guess
We're
let me
being
ask you
influenced by
this,
everything
so
that's
like
out
what
there.
you're saying, if we take away social media, or if we start seeing these positive videos, is that gonna take away the insecurities? that
It
people
might
have?
not be as bad. A lot of times it starts with your social group. And so if your social group is like you, then, you know, you're probably going to live, you know, if everybody looks like you and you guys are all kind of the same, then you'll probably be fine. But if your social group is all wearing makeup and everybody around you, like your cousins, anytime you go to a wedding, everybody looks nicer than you. And not even that everybody looks not nicer than you, but like everybody has makeup on and looks more done up and professional than you, and then they're getting compliments for that. Automatically, your brain is going to be cataloging the fact that they're getting value, they're getting self-esteem, they're getting self-worth from the compliments from other people. You're clocking that, and like even subconsciously, like if you don't check yourself, it's going to affect you. So over time, you're going to merge because everybody wants to be normal, everybody wants to feel good about themselves, and so you're going to do whatever you need to do to feel good about yourself. And so, like, regardless of whether social media is there, it's always like your social group is always going to determine like how your kind of value, how you feel about yourself. And so, like, you really can't get away from it, but you can kind of curate the people around you.
social circle.
Yeah, you can curate the people around
Also, just
you.
to touch on that, we all, I assume, are of a certain age, and we didn't grow up with social media, and we still all had insecurities. So
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yes.
Like as a child, I had insecurities, like because again, your group. So I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I had thick little thighs, you know.
Oh,
and all the little white girls used to sit down. We would go sit down on the floor, and I was like, "Why are her thighs so skinny?" I thought I was fat. It's like an 8 or 7-year-old kid. So like, you know, that you're gonna think those things without social media,
Right.
based on the environment that you're in.
Yeah, same with my hair, because my
Hair.
hair was always like massive. My hair is always massive. I went to private school, which is mostly like predominantly white. And like, you know, at the end of my day, my hair was all scattered. It was all scattered, and everybody else, you know, their hair was straight. And so they'd be like, oh, why you look like that? Why are you so dirty? Why you look so put together? So, I'm like, oh, well, you know, sometimes my hair.
So check this out. So if we're going back to when we were younger, right? Back then, I didn't think of it as an insecurity. I just like, okay, I guess I don't look
Yeah,
the same way.
I don't think you had them.
So I'm trying to see where did that come. You see what I'm saying? Like, when we were younger, you didn't think of it as an insecurity.
Yeah.
No, I
You just
didn't.
think of it as
Just because you
I just
didn't
thought I was
think of it
different.
as an
it
insecurity
doesn't mean it was.
doesn't mean
Right.
that it was.
I get that, but
Yeah.
then again, I want to say that the term insecure or that feeling, I don't know if I felt a certain way that somebody said, oh, I look different. I don't know that I did because I was young. I didn't know, I wasn't conscious of that. So I'm trying to get like, was it a learned or a thought or something that we learned from people? You know what I'm saying? Because
I think we're built
no
that
way I knew about insecurity. No way did I feel a certain way.
I think we're built that way.
Yeah,
I think
we're, as human beings, we're intelligent beings. So it's like, you know, from the very moment you're in your mother's womb to your teenage years where you start becoming a lot more conscious, you're taking a lot of information. Like your brain is like gathering all this, and you start putting all this information together, and you start, in a way, you're picturing how your life is and how life should be or what life looks like. And then once you get to that age where your awareness is opened up, you're like, okay, you're trying to figure out where you fit in. You know, how do I move? Who's around me? Like, what's comfortable to me? Those things automatically happen because we're just human beings. We're intelligent beings. So, I mean, it's not like I mean, we pretty much just grasp information from our environment, and that's just how life is.
I love what you're saying about that, John. I think it is intrinsic to our human nature. We naturally want to compare. And I think one of my favorite quotes is, comparison is a thief of joy. So naturally we want to see who's doing better. It's always going to be a competition. Even if we're not even trying, we're trying to compete. Who speaks the best? Who looks the best or whatever? And these comparisons really just take away our joy and feed insecurity by allowing us to feel less than. And if I do want to say this as well, because I know that for me growing up as a Nigerian American boy, there was no model of what that should look like. And also I think for you as well, of what you should be. So right now we have to create the narrative for ourselves and say that we are enough. I think it is going through positive people, being at church, knowing that you are valued and you are enough.
Take this one comment and we'll go to the next topic. D says, I don't think you should solve it by just having certain types of people around you. Because then what happens when they're not there, or the people a lot of people.
Good point.
100%, right?
Good point. No,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, you're putting all your value in what these people tell you or say to you, or.
But it's difficult to control. Like, a part of you has to have, it's like positive self-talk. Like, even if, people that you think are better looking than you or different than you, if you tell yourself like, oh, I don't look like them, so that means that I'm not as pretty or I'm not as valuable, you should be able to like maybe talk yourself out of it. I think naturally you're always going to compare yourself to people, like you said, naturally. But if you have like some positive self-talk and like kind of talk yourself out of your first thought, you'll probably be a lot better off. But the thing is, like, it's hard to control.
Yeah. Or I think you could use that as kind of inspiration to do better. Rather, I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But like if you see people with something, let's say a big house or something, and that's genuinely your goal, not just something frivolous, you're like, okay, I'm going to work towards this. I can do what this person is doing. So to me, that's a good way. A good
Sometimes
start.
I think that that's fine, but you also need to be honest with yourself. It's like, just because that person has more than you or is different than you or looks a different way than you doesn't necessarily mean that that's the goal. It's one goal and people are celebrating that goal. But we've all sold ourselves this dream that success means that you have a family, you have a job that pays well, you're going to have a bunch of money, you'll have a Ferrari, and you have this, that, and that. Most people don't have that, and I wouldn't say everybody is sad. Like, for the most part, what you need to feel whole is good relationships in your life, and to be not wealthy, but just have enough money to make your ends meet.
Right.
Most of your joy comes from if you're doing something that fulfills you and if you have good relationships. And so maybe you should focus on that and talk to yourself like, do I have good friends? Do I have a good family? Does my family support me? Do I have emotional support? And you should hold that higher value. We need to praise those things more than, whether you have a Ferrari or a car or a
And one last
house.
thing before we go on, definitely, and also adding to that, I think some of us do practice Christianity here. So for me, it's definitely at the end of a week, wherever, maybe things didn't go my way, going to church and being like, okay, I have purpose. There's a reason why I'm being here. And just matter of fact, no matter how many billions of human beings will exist out before us or even after us, there will never be another one just like you. Right. So knowing that you're uniquely and wonderfully made, and that's your purpose, and that's your beauty. So.
That makes sense. That's what I think about. I was just going to talk about what D said last week, but I don't want us to dwell too much about it. I'm just read it, but then let's take it and marinate it wherever we go with it. She says, I feel it's better to just be about you and not checking for what other people are doing. So that way it doesn't matter who is it that's around you, and you just be fine regardless. Right?
Exactly.
I agree and I don't agree.
Yeah, I agree, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because naturally, we're social human beings, and the way we all follow cultural norms because we don't want to be like outcasted. Just like that's just how we're bred. And so, like he said, we're always going to compare ourselves to other people. But that's the goal.
I definitely feel like it should be all about you. Don't compare yourself to others. But however, you can't cast everybody out and say it's all about me. I don't need everybody. You do need people. Like the way the world works, it's all about relationships. It's just you just have to get into a space of it's all about me in the sense of you just try your best to not compare yourself to others. For every I am not that you say to yourself, find the I am that you say to yourself, just to balance things out.
Yeah, I don't think that's what she meant, but like you're right. Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the next one. Real quick. So this one goes. You and your man are watching TV on a Sunday afternoon.
Answers.
I love this question.
He gets a call from a female co-worker. She called to ask for help. You know, she has a flat tire. He gets up and is ready to go without a word. What would you do?
I would like
Would you be okay? Would you be okay with him going? You both have been dating for a year.
I would like
She
to
ready.
First of all, why are you leaving without a word? That's rude. Secondly, I'm fine with him going. Me personally, my relationship, I'm fine with him going. But I was made to understand she, friend, whatever the person is, co-worker, does not value our relationship if she is your first call. Why is she your first call? Doesn't she have family? Does she have...
No, she got AAA.
AAA.
Her priorities are messed
Very
up.
Messed up.
strange.
It's not that expensive to add that to your insurance. You shouldn't have to call.
Exactly.
But then I'm thinking something going on. You know,
That's something.
There might
far
not
into it,
Might not be.
Here's
It's not a
the
good
thing,
indicator.
it's just, number one, I think the real issue is your partner. So I'm all of that's happening, and regardless of how he responds, it's on me to set a boundary. Hey, like, you need to come and explain to me what's happening, because I don't know her. And so, like, maybe we've only been dating for a year. Maybe you've known her for 5 years, and that's your homegirl, and her car broke down the street. Like, that's over. So she knows that you live, so that's why she called you. And that's fine, but you know, I'm new in this situation. So you need to help me. You need to help me feel comfortable enough to this stranger that you're just going to check on. And if I'm uncomfortable, it's like, cool, I'm coming too. I'll get on the phone with her. I'll call her and be like, hey baby girl, you got Progressive? Do you have Geico? Because there's roadside assistance on the phone. And so since this is in the afternoon, it's like, well, next time we will know. So like, do you need me? Like, I think the number is 1-800-2, like, you know, and I'll help with the situation. But just so you know, I'm here. My name is Chica. Who are you? Like, you know, but that's okay. He's friendly. He's kind. I love kind men. I love nice men that do nice things. We'll do it nice as a couple. We will be a chivalrous couple. Me and him together, we're going to help you with your car. You want something to eat? You want a snack? We'll wait with you while we're
Honestly, that's probably the best thing.
You know, do you need my jack? But I'm here in the situation too.
Let's reverse real quick. So you're in the situation. He gets up and he's getting ready to leave.
I'm just saying, what's going on?
He gets up and he's ready to leave. You're in that situation. He gets up, ready to leave without a word. What's your move?
Why? Where are you going?
Where exactly? Who's mad?
What's going on?
Why are you leaving the
You
house?
left the conversation.
Yeah. What is going on? You didn't. I heard it, but you didn't tell me anything.
You didn't know I heard it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like
You didn't tell me anything. So again, I'm setting a boundary in the future.
Yeah.
If you have any homegirls that need you, I need you to, like, you know, just say, hey babe, so and so called me and she needs X, Y, and Z, so that I can participate, because I'm not trying to control anybody. I'm not trying to control your moves or whatever. I'm not going to tell you you can't go or anything like that. I'm not going to do that personally for me, because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. But I want to feel like jealousy is a real thing, and it could feel like a threat to our relationship if I don't know the circumstances. So make me feel more comfortable about the situation.
I mean, that's
and so I'm setting a boundary.
That's a lifelong friend, and y'all been dating for a year, and
Yeah,
this is the
come and
first
tell
time
me.
you hear
Yeah.
about this friend.
That doesn't mean
Then it
anything.
seems like there's a problem.
Yeah, why are you just not first time?
Communication. Tell me.
Communication is
I'm
very
setting a
important.
boundary now. So next time you know, homegirl calls, you look to me and say, Chica, guess what?
Yeah.
So and so, X, Y, and Z happened.
How can you
I gotta
just-
go, blah, blah, blah. And let me know. You jumping up because some random chick called. I'm like, who is that? Who is she?
To me,
you date her too?
It's 100% rude to just stand up and start walking up.
Walking up,
even
no,
if you're
we watch
just
TV
going to the
together.
store or something,
Yeah.
you know, inconsequential. It's like,
What about me?
Yeah.
What about me? What happened to what
tell
we
somebody
did?
something. You could die down the street and I wouldn't know. Tell me where you're going. I'll carry my bag and we'll go to
It's like, but you can go, but just, you know, let me know so I can be a part of
It's
it.
just very rude.
Let me know. I just set a boundary and be honest and talk to me and check in with me so that I feel important. And like, even if I'm a little jealous, like, that shouldn't stop you from going, but you should at least have a
But so y'all would
conversation
let
with
him
me.
go. Y'all would let him go.
I would let him
Oh, you
go
would?
because he's a human being.
So,
He can do what he wants.
Can your boyfriend have friends of the opposite sex?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with
You
that.
want to know all the
Yeah,
friends of
who
the
is
opposite
that?
sex?
That's what communicated.
I want, if she's your friend, I should have her number
So
too.
you meet somebody.
I don't know if I
At
care
what
that
point
much.
would you want to start knowing about their friends of the opposite sex?
Immediately.
Okay.
Who
So
is that?
the issue with this problem is it's a
Everyone has
whole
different
year,
sex.
I don't care
and
that
you're
much.
just hearing about this person. So just
Yeah,
question,
exactly. Who is is this person?
I think when you're a friend, you're gonna naturally talk about them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mostly get along with men, so I have a lot of male friends, you know, and so like if I'm dating a guy, I've probably already been like, oh, James or, you know, Chris, so they already know this name is coming up when you first meet me. So if this
If it's a
random
new
chick
girl,
hits
she
you
might
up,
not know about me. That's why I'm going.
I'm not doing it all. I'm about to look at you crazy.
No, I'm going.
So you're
I'm
not
gonna
go.
be an extra
Are you gonna say
help.
something to him, right? You're gonna say something to him, or are you just gonna
You
get
know,
up
that's such a vague thing because there's so many holes. Like, have I heard this girl's name before? Is this like the first time
All
that I'm
questions
hearing
to
about
ask before he
her?
goes.
It's just so many different things that
So if
plays
you
into
put the name
this. Like,
before, you're
and I know who she is. Then
Right.
she should be at that point. I'm hoping she's my homegirl too. So I should be on my way.
Yeah.
But it's just some random coworker.
If she's not your homegirl, she's about to be.
Even if it was your homegirl, she randomly calls him.
My homegirl.
Yeah.
If she my homegirl, what you calling my name for?
I mean, because she.
You didn't even got his number.
Y'all go home.
She need help. Like, there's a lot of places you need help.
Maybe
Like,
it's his house. What if you were at his house and her car broke down like the street or something? Broke down like.
but she
the
still should
next
call
street.
him if she's my friend. If she's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friend, she calling me.
So she'll call you to call him.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
more
that
sense.
makes more sense. So, girl, we come.
No, that doesn't.
Or I'm gonna go to
make
him.
sense. If y'all
I'm
are
gonna
cool
go-
now, if y'all all are friends, then she'll call
yeah.
him.
But her friend, if I only met her through him, like that's his friend first. So I expect that he would go without me. But I don't know. I'm just that way I read that is that my dude just got a text message from some girl named Erica at the job. I ain't never heard of this chick before. He finna hop up and like he her man and go rescue her. Like
That's what I'm saying.
that's
Let's
how
go,
I read
boo.
that.
Let's go together.
Chivalry.
What does Erica need?
That's a little bit too much chivalry. Now I'm asking questions. Where her man at? Where her
There's
brother
nothing wrong
at?
with being nice, but it's like we can be nice together.
But we're all
As a
adults
couple.
too. Like I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. I have really good
You can take your
insurance.
tires?
Maybe she's
No,
responsible.
I have.
She doesn't know.
Then
so
let's
you can help her.
It's time to learn a
contact
lesson. The best way to learn a lesson is to be put in a hard time. So sit here, baby. Let her learn how to change this tire, or how she can call Progressive, or and what call a tow truck. You must be sure she broke too. She can't even afford to call a tow truck. It's a lot of questions. I don't know.
People are living a hard life. You never know.
Okay.
I'm here for
I think
you.
we're on the same page on that.
So Alan says, if I'm just hearing about this person, that's comfortable enough to call you first for a flat tire, then we need to talk.
Of course, it's just
Fact,
I don't know
right?
why I didn't
You're the
think about
first person
any of
she's
this
going
first.
to.
I just thought about why are you leaving the house without saying anything?
That's as a guy, I know that I wouldn't do that. I would tell you, hey,
That's
such and
even
such
more
was a call.
sketchy.
She needs such and such help.
I mean, I could definitely see the situation because I have coworkers that I've known for like 5 or 6 years, and they're not important enough in my life to tell my partner about. However, we've known each other for 5 years, and we all work together, so they have my number, and they know that I live in Missouri City. So if somebody's car breaks down and they're like the street over, and and they contact me, I'll just be like, hey, boo. So-and-so from my job, his car broke down and he needs some help.
You want to come with me?
You know what?
You want to come with me? That's
I
fine.
just thought about something. The problem is the relationship, not that person.
Exactly.
I
think so.
Exactly.
Literally,
You need to set a boundary.
I met somebody for the first time, and that same day, they hit me up to come help them because they're at a flat tire. I just thought about that.
Yeah. Flat tire
So-
is something that she would call anybody.
And
for.
I don't know this person. I just met them that very day, and they called me to help them with flat tire. So imagine I'm sitting there with my girl, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm coming," and I don't say nothing to my girl. I don't like. So the
Yeah, but you give
issue
her
is
the
the.
backdrop and you communication.
Communication.
I'm leaving the
But
house.
let's say this
You
up.
can come with me if that makes you feel comfortable. Why don't you come with me, boo? Since why don't you just leave me with the Netflix by myself?
Right.
Like, you communicate. Look, I just met this girl today. She's kind of a little irresponsible. She called me. You want to come with me? But just hopping up, not saying anything, creating suspicion. It's gonna trigger your jealousy and things like that.
Right. I guess what I said. I was just gonna add to that. What if you tell her, oh, blah 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 blah, she says don't go.
And she says,
What?
She says no, you can't go.
"Okay." If she
your
says don't
relationship
go,
is-
well, I'm hoping she has another solution to help this person out.
Exactly.
Like because if you're saying, because come on with a, yeah. So I mean, just come with a solution.
Because like we just said, because trust me, there's probably people like that. You just said that's progressive, there's triple A's, blah 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 blah. She's gonna tell you, no, you can't go. Let her call this, let her call this, let her call this, let her call
Because
that.
that is most people. We're all adults. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I have a lot of men in my life. really, I do, that I can call and say, hey, come help me. But that's not going to be my first move. My first move as an adult is going to be to contact my insurance. If I ain't have insurance, I have an iPhone, I can just Google tow truck or, you know, whatever you would Google for a flat tire. My first thing wouldn't be to inconvenience someone else. And so for me to feel so comfortable to do that and interrupt that relationship or inconvenience someone else,
what if
it
he
does.
was the man though? What if he was one of the men that she would call first? You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get that, but again, I have men that I would call first, and I just wouldn't. But maybe that's just me. Like I thought we have other things to inconvenience people.
I like help. I like resources, and I have a lot of men in my life that I know will show up for me, and I would call them. But I would call roadside assistance too. It's more of like if it's the middle of the night and I don't want to be by myself, I would call. Like my car broke down here. I'd be like, Peter, come get me.
There has to be a reason.
You know, and Peter's married, so I'd be like, come fucking come too if she wants to. I'm fine with that. Like, but it's cool. I feel like because. Like usually the men in my life, I make a point of knowing the people that they're in a relationship and feel like making sure that I hug them and like they know that I'm not a threat. And I purposely go out of my way to make any significant other of a male friend know that I respect their relationship and I would never do anything to disrespect their relationship. So just let me know what the boundaries are and I will respect them. And so I would expect that from other people, but not other people are me. So I'd be like, okay, well, it seems like it's time for me to set that boundary.
Right. I love Adiola's, what she said. She said, is this even a real scenario? Who gets up on these without a word of...
People do it. People do it. Because even me, like, I'm not used to checking in. Yeah, I'm not used to checking in.
People would do it.
People would do that. Because...
What?
What were you going to say?
All right, we'll move to the next. Let's go ahead and jump to this last one. This was a little because, well, I'm going to read it out. So my daughter made a new friend at a playground. I asked the dad if we can arrange a play date. He's like, okay, I'll give you a number to her mother, and I'll give her mother your number, and you guys can call and plan it out. And she says, I don't know why that was weird to me. Aren't you a parent too? Men who can't make decisions for themselves block the fuck out of me. I want to focus on that last part. Men who can't make decisions for themselves. But
Sis is sus. And she's exactly the person that you should be worried about.
You said what's up?
I said that girl is sus. And she's
suspect.
exactly she's exactly the type of person that you should be worried about your man contacting.
She's the person one with the car breaking down. That's who she is.
Like the fact that you don't know their relationship, you don't know what they've been through. He set a boundary with you. He said, look, for whatever reason, he wants you to be in contact with his wife instead of him, just so that he can avoid any issues for whatever reason. Why is that a problem?
His wife is his baby mom.
I'm 100%.
It doesn't matter. Like, why is that an issue for you? What's the problem? All you want is for your baby to get to know this other person's baby. Why do you care who you talk to set that up? What is the big deal? He set a boundary with you regardless of the reason why. That's none of your business. But he set a boundary with you, and now he's indecisive. Sounds like he's decisive to me. I don't want to talk to you. I made a decision, and you have a problem with that. What's your problem? Why must you talk to this man to set up a play date? What does he have to do with with that child? Like, why must it be him? Why can't it be the baby mama? What's the problem?
My initial thought actually with it was he just doesn't want to deal with that. Go do it. Go take my wife or my baby mama or whatever and go deal with it. I didn't even think of all of that, but that makes 100% sense, you know? But thought he was too
That's a great point. Yeah, most men probably wouldn't want to deal with something like that. That's not a guy thing. And then, like, I'm 100% what she said. You don't know what goes on in someone else's relationship. So for whatever reason, that was the boundary that he set. And so for it to bother you so much, it's questionable.
He's indecisive.
And I think that, like, you want to focus on the last sentence, which was, why can't men make decisions on their own or something? He has a relationship, so he's respecting his relationship. And I'm not married, I don't have kids, but I would assume that once I am married or I have children, whatever we choose to do with our child and in our marriage, it would be like a decision that we make together. We're not going to send our kid over to some play date. Like, let's talk about where the child is going, who's going to be there. So, like, I think he's being a parent, he's being an adult.
Even on the flip side, I feel like he did make a decision on his own. Let's just play on what she said. He made a decision. Hey, I'll get your number, give it to my...
Right. That was a decision itself.
Yeah, right.
But I'm looking at it like, so this is not a marriage. It was, I can't remember where I read this. It was somewhere on social media, but it actually happened. So he's single. He's not with the child's mom. People were in the comments saying that they feel like this person knows that he's single and knows that he's not with the child's mom. So
it sounds like he's just not
He
attracted
just don't
to
want
her.
to, he don't want to be bothered with the decision. Like,
Yeah.
man, I don't want to deal with this. Let
I
mom.
feel like that's what I feel like it wasn't nothing to. I feel like he just didn't. He may have just not wanted to make a decision, and then the baby's mom will come and say, "Hey, why would you?"
But
Or he just
also-
curved her. Maybe she was trying to hit on him and he curved her and said, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna plug you with my child's mother, and, you know.
But also, if he has a child in that situation you described, most likely she has a child full time. So that's a better reason for you to contact her so that she knows the child schedule better. She has a child more often. I just think people being messy.
Just don't feel like you need any other information than what he told
Exactly.
you. And I don't understand what that has to do with being
She
indecisive.
was just mad.
She
trying
must have
to-
wanted him.
Yeah.
She had other
She
intentions.
definitely wanted him.
She had other
And
intentions.
she got curved and she's upset.
So do y'all? I just want to ask a general question because I know this will come up in different situations. That last statement, men who can't make decisions for themselves, talk the fuck out of me. So let's talk about that. Let's forget the scenario that we throw up now. As women, do y'all feel that way? Sometimes if you ask a man a question and he's like, you know what, let me get back to you on that, or he just takes his time. Does that argue?
Depends.
Depends on the situation.
Oh, I got a perfect
It hurts
one.
my soul.
Babe, what you want to eat?
No.
I never know what
You
I
decide.
want to eat.
That's the
That's not the man bit.
Since
That's
I can't decide, do it. People don't realize how you feel like eating a lot. Well, let me speak for myself. I feel like eating a lot of things at this one moment. So since I can't decide, go ahead. Anything but Mexican food.
Sometimes women just want suggestions.
Exactly. And then
build
we'll
on suggestions.
unless
What do you
I'm
want to
craving
eat?
something.
I don't know what I want to eat. Tell me what your suggestions are, and I'll tell you.
I'll tell you
yes or
what
no.
I don't want.
Yes or no.
Look, if I'm by myself, I can figure out what I want to eat with no problem, no
Right, right.
hesitation. I'm just gonna grab something to eat it. But if somebody else is involved, it's always a process. You know, and it shouldn't be that way. But
Why?
Somebody else always is a process, regardless.
Yeah, anybody else in your life is a process.
Yeah.
Like if your homeboy, if he's like,
if it's my homeboy, it's not a process.
They make them fend for themselves, the homeboy.
Like,
No, I mean,
it's not a process.
we're all sitting together and we're like, oh, let's order something to eat right now.
yeah.
We not talk about what we want.
Yeah, somebody else might be
But
craving something
look,
else.
we can talk about what we want, but it's not to be an hour conversation about what we're gonna eat.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Before you jump to that, hold that thought.
Okay.
Stella just made a good comment. She said she may have been triggered in her past with that response.
Right.
Maybe she had an ex who was like that.
That's exactly what I was going to get to. So I think what the root issue is the fact that she wants somebody to make wise decisions in a man. That's what she's looking for. And if she's not finding it in that man, she probably has to find someone else or communicate to that man, hey, you need to start thinking about, me as far as the ramifications of whatever you're doing in your relationship. So,
Sounds like a her problem now. That's not
that
I'm sorry that
yes,
triggered you.
yes and no, but you're together, so it's kind of like you
You're not
can't just,
together with this person.
They say like when men
In
make
general.
decisions.
Yeah, it could be triggering if you're with somebody indecisive and like two indecisive people is really, really
Not
annoying. Yeah,
blind leading
it's
the blind,
really,
for sure.
yes, it's really,
Yeah.
really annoying. And two decisive people are probably really annoying. It's better to be with somebody decisive and somebody that kind of like could go whichever way so that you don't butt as many heads. But every relationship is a process of like figuring out how to work best together. And so if you have an issue with the person's indecisiveness, then have a conversation about that and figure out why that person is so indecisive. It could be because of their past or something like that. And so that's something that you can work through. I don't necessarily think that it's something that you have to break over. It's just something that you have to have a conversation about.
Let me ask you, so as far as a man you're looking for in a relationship, or if you have that man that just, in curiosity, do you want the man to be more decisive? Do you want him to be equal as far as the decisions you make, or less decisive than
What do you want in a man, Chico?
I like a man that knows what he likes but is open-minded.
Okay.
And so I like someone who can make a decision. If I give him two options, he can decide of the two what he wants.
What's a decision that you want the man to make?
That's a good question.
Nothing.
There's really nothing. I don't really work in like black and white terms like that. There's nothing that I can think of like, oh, I need, like, because I've been living my life all this time and I've been making decisions. I've never felt the need to like, oh, I just wish somebody could just take it all away from me. I don't feel like that. But I do want a partner that I am somebody that loves feedback. I like a back and forth. So I don't want a brick wall. When I'm having a conversation about what we want to pick for a house, a wedding, or whatever, I want somebody that has an opinion so that I can feed off of that opinion.
Right.
It's not so much indecisiveness, it's do you have an opinion on the thing so that you can help me make a decision? I want someone that I can get to help me make a decision. Not necessarily that's going to make a decision for me. Oh, sorry, yeah, help us make a decision. You're right, you're right.
How do you feel when the man says, "Oh, let me ask my mom"?
Let me ask my mom.
Depends on what it is.
Mom for what?
Look, just like let me ask her advice.
If he trusts his mom and
What's the
she's
situation?
nice.
Yeah.
Are we married and you're trying to ask her what
Okay, I see what you're saying.
how we gonna handle this over
Like,
here?
trying to figure out the child's name or something.
That's about what? Is it about a kid? Is it about a baby?
I don't see what.
Tell me, I don't
Not
see
this
it.
situation.
No, I know, just
I'm saying
in general.
In
How
general-
do you feel about a man saying, "Let me talk to my mom real quick. Let me see what she says." My
Well,
mom.
my mom is my best friend and she's my sounding board. So if that's his best
You wanna
friend and that's his
sound his
sounding
process.
board, then that's his process. And I gotta respect that. But if it's my household and it's our decision that we're making for our children, for our home, what you need to talk to her about?
Also, you could have kept that to yourself. Don't, no.
Some
You can go talk to her, don't tell me I'll talk.
Come back when you got the answer.
We're talking about communication, openness, yada yada yada. He's gonna tell you, "Let me sign it off my mom real quick." Whatever the
Your
decision
mother
may
leave
be.
yet? No. Bye.
Whatever it is, let me just sign it
You
off.
can get
You have
outside
somebody who
influence.
If it's
sounds
all the
smart.
time, I think that's an
it
issue.
It depends
Yeah,
on how
yeah.
much of an issue it is. If you can't make a decision without your mom, that is an
You
issue.
can't make decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can't make a decision without your mom, that's different. But like all of us need feedback, and if your mom is like a trusted companion,
Right.
if like there's nothing wrong with wanting feedback, but if you can't make decisions without everybody's opinion, that is a problem. And it's bigger than you and your mom and your relationship with your mom. It's about you and the fact that you can't make decisions at all. Like you don't have an opinion, you don't have any thoughts in your brain, and that's a problem that we need to work on.
Yeah, and again,
That's a problem that we need to work on.
yeah, and again,
Saying
if it's,
you are
if it's
stupid.
all the time,
No, not stupid, but
Right,
you
yeah.
have no center. You have
Exactly, yeah.
like you need to be able to decide. You're a grown up.
Yeah, and I think
That's facts.
just to echo a point, if it's all the time, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
You have to have a process to make your own decisions, whether it be you write it out, whether it be you meditate, whether it be you pray, whether it be you talk to friends. Just make sure you have a process that makes sense to you, that feels right to you.
That is
Have a
fact.
support system, yeah.
That is fact. So everybody has a support system. You support system.
Yeah.
You have one. You have one. You probably go back to your mom. Ask your mom. You see
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? No, I'm just saying. No. People. Like, most women will go back to either their mom or their big sister or their.
Yeah, I always talk to
You
my
see what
mom
I'm trying
about
to get at?
everything.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get
I talk
at
to my sisters.
you, for example. You go to your mom. If he's going to his mom, but you have a problem, you see what I'm saying?
I guess it's just kind of weird. If it's just a normal decision I'm making for myself, right? It would be kind of weird, like she said, to say, "Let me go talk to my mama." That's kind of weird. Like I wouldn't say that in any way.
Okay.
So that makes me think that because he's saying that to her, it's a decision about them as a couple or their
Exactly.
household, and then that's where I have a problem. Like you can talk to her if you want to, but the decision's gonna be made right here.
Exactly.
Right.
That is exactly it. It's like, oh, do you want a green couch or a blue couch?
Hey, mama.
Yeah.
What you think?
And if every time you make a
Mama,
decision, if you
yeah.
say my mama says, it's like, okay,
My mama
what's going on?
said-
Like my mom. It's like, is your mom in this
Your
relationship
mama's
or is it
boy.
the two of us?
Mama's boy.
Yeah,
Get off
and, but feedback is fine, and if you can't make a decision, and you need to, like a lot of times you need to. Sometimes when people say something, it resonates with you. They have thoughts that you didn't think of, and so it can add to your perspective and help you make a decision, not make the decision for you.
Right.
So there's just a difference. It just
Right,
depends.
right.
Good conversation.
It depends.
Good job. It depends.
That's
It
the lawyer.
depends on
It
the
depends.
situation.
Any final words? Anything else you want to talk about? Any final words you want to put up there?
Don't be mama's boy, guys.
Don't be, yeah, definitely. I like what we're talking about as far as getting your value from like social media, whatever it is. And I think especially in our society, we have to make sure we have a support system to give us that validation because we all need it. Especially last year with 2020 and all the mental health issues and things we have to go through as a country, we have to make sure we have a support system. I'm a big advocate for mental health, so making sure you have either God, you have your family, you have wise men, wise women, whatever surrounding you. You can't do this life by yourself, so make sure you reach out for help.
That's nice. I appreciate that.
Echo the same. Learn how to be healthy. Learn how to communicate what you want, what your fears are. Learn how to communicate with your partner. So then when these things pop up, you can have a productive conversation. There's rarely things that you can't solve if you have a conversation. If you're at an impasse, then that's okay. Then maybe you're not right for each other. And if you have enough self-esteem and self-worth, you'll be okay. you know, and move on and find somebody that you are more compatible with. But if you understand who you are and you learn to communicate with your partner, you probably solve a lot of your own problems.
Facts. What you got, Princess? No words, last words?
No last words. I agree with everything.
Last words?
John?
No last
No
word.
wise words?
He always has wise words.
Nah, I ain't got nothing.
Be chivalrous, guys.
Yeah, be sure.
If you want to, and if you don't want to, then communicate with with your partner and then break up if it's a problem.
And black men don't cheat.
That's a lie.
That's a whole new topic of
People cheat.
lies.
People cheat.
Exactly.
Black
People.
men
Not
Well,
just
black
black
men.
men.
Not black
Chivalry
men.
should
They
be
don't
both ways. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Man, woman, if you want to be nice to somebody, you want to do something nice to somebody, do it.
cheat. Just gotta remind people.
Don't sit down and wait for a guy to come and open some doors.
Don't date guys with dangly earrings. I want this to end. I'm sorry. I hate the dangly
And
earrings.
the epidemic. And the pandemic.
I'm fine with dangly
I
earrings.
hate the dangly cross earrings. It just
That's what I'm saying.
But it does
Don't
look
like
kind of
earrings.
dumb. I get it.
I like a guy with earrings, but
But not
something about
dangly.
that dangly cross, it's just something
It
about
looks
it.
technical.
Wait,
It
you
looks
can
kind
with
of
that?
I'm fine with
Okay.
that.
It's a certain type of guy that wears that dangly earrings.
I don't have a
What's the
strong
secret?
A certain type of guy.
I think it
Why you
depends
checking
on the guy.
That's fine.
It depends on the vibe. Some people it doesn't suit.
So we were like dangling earrings, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for vibing with us. Go ahead and click the subscription link or subscribe. You know what I mean? Just subscribe. We feed up your likes, subscriptions, shares. Go ahead and do it if you're watching. We appreciate you for tuning in. Tune in again next Sunday.
Yes.
Same
yes,
time,
yes.
right?
Same
Yeah.
time.
Same vibe.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
some vibes, you know, new faces, maybe not, but yeah, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Thank y'all so much, we appreciate it. Wait. Stella says, I remember when I held the door open for a guy. The weird look he gave was hilarious.
You know what that means?
We're ending on
Slam it
that
to his face.
He faked. He should have said thank you and kept it moving. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. No, that was fake. I mean, if she held it for you, you should have said thank you and give her a smile or something. You know what I'm saying? All right, we done. Thank
So
you
what's
for
the
tuning in.
pros?
Peace, y'all.